Hello, and welcome to a continuation of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Today, I will be reading from Torment, Tides of Numenera, and doing the voices, as I did before. And I'll be drinking a little bit of Bailey's and milk. Are we allowed to drink on YouTube? Maybe it's just non-alcoholic. Bailey's. This is going to be really annoying if this fireplace is crackling while I'm actually trying to play the game. So just a second. There we go. That's more good. Oh, sorry, I can't do that. Probably only to play for like an hour, I guess. Ooh, distinguished backers. I don't remember where I left off before. I completed the quest with the robot children. I have a friend. Oh, cool. Let me see my journal. Yes. Figure out what I'm going to do for Eratus here. Or figure out what I'm doing with the Stitches.
Allow me.
I'm actually going to go back to the Stitches.
Let's go.
Because I wonder if I talk to the kid that was there again. If I can find an alternate path to saving this thing. Otherwise I could just not complete the quest, in which case this creature might not die.
Ready. Yes.
Ready. Yes.
All right.
I might change the follow cam too. It's kind of weird having the camera jump around, trying to follow what I have selected as opposed to where I'm telling them to go. Probably better to change that up front. Controls, interface, camera mode, edge.
Yes.
Okay, so now I can control the camera, and I can tell them where to go.
Sure.
I'll take it. Let's go over here. Intoxicated woman. Zeb is the boy from before. The boy salutes you as you approach. Good to see you again, ma'am. How can I help you? Is this the boy who told me about it? Is this your house? It doesn't look safe. We know. That's why we stay outside most of the time. Ever since Avina noticed some cracks around the walls, we only go in there to change clothes and stuff. Does anyone else live back here? There used to be a lady who lived next door, a nano sorceress, but she disappeared a while back. And there was a family 2 doors down. We heard them screaming on the night their house fell into the sea. My sister Nim was friends with their little girl. That's sad. Can you tell me anything else about the area? Hardly anybody comes through here anymore. It's nice and quiet, I guess. Better than the rest of Cliff's Edge. Tell me about your family. He ducks his head. Yes, ma'am. There's 4 of us, counting my father. He's gone to the Bloom, and we don't know when he'll be back. I'm Zeb, and he points to the little girl kicking a rock in a circle, and an older girl who is playing flute. The girl with the flute is Avina. She's not actually our sister, but she's still family. And there's no one else. That's it. Let me ask you something else. Is there anyone else in the area? See, the thing is that we already know there's our friend the Stitches over here. But I don't think I can converse with. Attack him. I suppose you're not allowed to just take a detour to start an orphanage, raise your own army. I don't believe I am.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Maybe I'll talk to these other kids, see if any of them will want me to do anything. A little girl in a patched tunic kicks a pebble while reciting in a sing-song voice. Joy, joy, joy. Sorrow, joy, sorrow, joy, 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 joy. Play. She stomps her feet. You ruined it. I was about to give 5 joys, and she shrinks back as she realizes she just shouted at someone she doesn't know. My brother usually talks to all the strangers. Can I ask you some questions? I guess. Tell me about the game you're playing. It's called Sorrow and Joy. I made it up. She starts kicking the pebble again, first with her left foot, then with her right. You have to kick the rock left, right, without stopping. That's joy. If you kick it twice with the same foot, that's sorrow. 5 joys in a row means you win. 5 sorrows in a row, you lose. Is there any reason you use the word sorrow? I don't know, I just like it. Sorrow, sorrow, joy, joy, joy. Can I ask you about your neighbors around here? Who's this person that just wandered onto the screen? Her eyes fill with tears and she looks down the road toward one of the fallen houses. My friend used to live over there, but she... Her brother interrupts. It's okay, Nim. You don't have to talk about that. He gives you a quick shake of the head and carefully wipes his sister's eyes. I don't think I can get anywhere with this quest. Song today, ma'am? Let me ask you something instead. Do you feel the same way Zeb does about the Stitches? The poor thing. We're all taking care of it. The other Stitcha abandoned it, so now it has no family except us. He leans in. Please don't tell anyone about it. Zeb would die if anything happened to it. I mean, that's fair, but like... Maybe I just can't resolve the situation. What? Far below, you can see a ledge jutting out from the cliff face. A collapsed tunnel appears to have been once used to access the strange objects cradled in the corner. Can I get there, though? Looks like I'd have to go around quite a bit.
Do you miss your family, child?
Do you miss yours?
No, as a matter of fact. But I've had far longer to grow used to life without them than you have.
Oh. So, how long ago did you kill them? Trust and honesty are our bonds.
What?
I'm going.
I'm gonna talk to this cultist. Cultist is just wandering around, okay. Can't actually interact with it. Have I gone in this building yet? Oh, that I have.
Yes, now.
There.
Oh. Yes, Clarion. Clarion. This young woman wears finely polished armor and paces back and forth restlessly on the walkway. Her long hair is lustrous and healthy, and her whole form exudes a wholesome vitality. When she sees you, she raises her voice in greeting. "Welcome, friend, to the Fifth Eye." She strides closer to speak more softly. "You come at an exciting time. I have been trying to convince some veteran warriors of their imminent suitability to join the endless battle. So far they have rebuffed me, but perhaps you can succeed where I have failed." Do I want to recruit them for the endless battle? Let's find out about the endless battle first. "Much as it sounds," she says. "It stemmed from a rift between the changing god and one of his offsprings and has endured for hundreds of years. Raging over the same battlefields, using the deadliest technology of the ancients, the landscape is scarred and pitted beyond recognition. The walls between dimensions are thin there. Every day, horrors cross into our world." She stands, arms akimbo. "Worse, in recent years, the struggle has expanded. Nearby settlements, founded to provide material support for the combatants, or existing there long before the two sides came to rage on their borders, have been engulfed by the spreading chaos." She frowns. "It is not too late to change the course of the battle. If only warriors of proven mettle would join the fight. That is why I am here. That is why I beg for your help." What side are you recruiting for? "The changing gods. He has always been the patron of Sage's Cliffs. Perhaps we would not exist if not for his lives and his cast-offs. Certainly we would not be as we are. She pauses. "That is not the only reason. The changing gods' forces have allied with the towns and villages of the Verxilian Waste. We seek to prevent the endless battle from expanding beyond its borders, growing in size once again. The enemy has attempted to sweep across the plain before. They tricked the changing gods' allies centuries ago, destroyed an army of sand knights, and took half the settlements in the waste. We won't let them do it again." "Who is the enemy that you're fighting?" "The armies of the first cast-off. They have never been friends to the people of Sagas Cliffs. She frowns. The first cast-off is long dead, but still her forces hold a grudge against her sire and his patron city. That's interesting. Tell me more about the endless battle. It's not truly endless, of course, but it has raged for hundreds of years. Imagine the wonders you see around you, the discarded pieces of the ancients' lives. Now imagine all their power bent towards destruction. Imagine what they would do to the land. It is a force, a disaster, that creates heroes. I can kind of understand why. I wonder, it'll be interesting as the game expands to see how these ideas are dealt with. It bears a lot of semblance, actually, to what was going on in Planescape Torment. Tell me about yourself. I am Clarion. I seek strong warriors, brave souls, to fight in the endless battle, to hold back the advance of the enemy. So yeah. I don't know if I really want to like recruit these warriors
Without doubt.
I don't really know if I'm on the side of the I don't know if I'm on the side of the changing god. Dama of the Bloom, Boboros. Dama of the Bloom. The wispy mustache on this pudgy middle-aged man would be almost comical if it weren't for his deep and despairing eyes. They are the eyes of a man who has passed through the gates of alien hells and returned, though not necessarily whole. His fingers, tightly wrapped around some fine glassware, are strong and slim. A musician's fingers, or a strangler's. Okay? Before you open your mouth to speak, he says, "What is that place in your head?" How does he know about the place in my head? What do you think? 1, 2, or 3? It's a labyrinth. I don't know. Or it's none of your business. I think 1 is the straightforward make a Minotaur joke while you're at it. A labyrinth? He raises an eyebrow and leans back in his seat. That's a novel construction. He starts ticking items off in his fingers. I've seen people construct psychic fortresses, cathedrals, graveyards, hellscapes, and vortices from which no life escapes. All dramatic places, all powerful and foreboding, but a labyrinth? Well, that's a whole different construction. That speaks to cunning and guile. Do you mind if I take a quick look? It seems like a strange thing to carry and not know anything about. His voice is polished and clean. Friendly, but intent. Probably don't take advice from me unless you're okay with whatever looks funniest at the moment. That's fine with me. I'm gonna just go ahead and have this guy climb around inside my head. Why, thanks. Though it's not often the wisest choice to let strangers enter your mind, I'll not do you any harm. Might help, even. He smiles, to take the sting out of his words. Ready? He breathes in, and suddenly you feel you are a mote, tucked inside a gigantic prism, with eyes peering in at you from all around. You are held tightly in an enormous fist. You are a flimsy piece of glass held up to the light. Yet somehow it is not utterly terrifying. His words come to you as if from a distance. A shared space, such depths, such twists, it builds itself around your experiences, around those who share it with you. Shared spaces are occasionally dangerous, so I sharpened a part of your mind. His voice draws closer and the pressure eases. I didn't probe deeply, but this would be an excellent battleground. If you lured a foe to you, you could trap it within your mind. You could destroy it. Oh, introductions. Yes. He sets the glass down and shakes your hand. I am Dama. Dama of the Bloom. He pinches the bridge of his nose, his eyes tightly shut, and you feel a gentle and powerful presence surround your consciousness. I have a request for you. It might seem strange, but you have an interesting topography to your mind. You might be able to help us. The Fifth Eye is home to psychic veterans. We fought an incursion of nightmares, I suppose. Nightmares slithering into the city's shared dream space, eating minds and leaving husks behind. We call them the adversaries. We burned them out and cauterized the wounds through which they infected our reality. But I cannot shake the nagging feeling that one of them survived and waits to strike. I trust my intuition, and now it's telling me to ask for your help. I'm jealous of your ability to do voices. I don't feel like I can do voices that well. They all kind of sound the same to me. But I enjoy doing it. I'd be happy to help. What do I need to do, or not right now? I don't know. I like this guy giving me... I like this guy helping me in my mind labyrinth thing. I don't know if I want to help him. I'd be happy to help. What do I need to do?
I'll remember that.
He breathes a sigh of relief. My thanks. I feel the adversary. I know it's here. I know it's close. I know it's watching us, but it's hiding its presence, and I fear it will strike when our guard is down. It may well be in the Fifth Eye, even now. He shrugs helplessly. Sadly, our Fifth Eye is blind. He jerks a thumb at the bartender. It might be that our foe has blinded us, but it might not have shielded itself from you. Look for it, and tell me if you find something unusual. I think I might have a lead on the identity of the adversary. Do I have a lead on the identity of the adversary? I genuinely don't know. How do you fight the adversaries? Are you thinking you might use your labyrinth to trap it? Don't. Don't do it. He steeples his fingers under his chin and considers. Though, wait. It might work. It might. He looks at Thoberos and Zeob. They exchange a wordless communication and he shrugs. We used a spotter, someone trained to recognize their scent. He'd give them the briefest engagement, enough to whet their appetites, and he'd bring them to a battlefield of our choosing. The adversary will tempt you with something. It will tap into the parts of your mind you had forgotten, ignite a desire. It will offer bargains, tastes of power, and try to draw you towards its way of thinking. The key is to keep control of the imagery and the metaphors your minds conjure together. That's where I come in. He leans forward on the table, his gaunt face seeming even more drawn. I'd feed words and stories to your spotter, help him build an internal story that seemed to mirror what the adversary told. And I'd lay a pathway toward our battlefield. He'd walk down that pathway, and the adversary would be extruding himself into our world right alongside him. His smile is hard and feral, and then we'd close off the exits and get to work cutting it to pieces. So tell a story. Resist the adversary's metaphors. Build in the details of your hardened metal space, draw it in, and then use your familiarity with the place to destroy the bastard. He swallows the rest of his drink. If you're going to try, and again, I can't emphasize enough that you should seek our help, but if you do it alone, Gods, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you do it alone, be careful. What can you tell me about the adversaries? A good question. Better if I show you. He closes his eyes and you can feel an insistent nudge in your mind. Then your vision goes black, replaced with a nightmare. Oh boy. You see a void, oblivion, a place where black stars hang and shriek with formless rage. Violet lightning arcs through the sky, and you witness enormous masses of pustulant orbs raging against each other. Streams of conscious thought rocket from them, and they scream of need, desire, hatred. Other emotions arise with these. Wisps of mental energy that curl like steam. They brush your consciousness with a touch beslimed with the unknowable hungers of an alien mind. These luminous wisps quest through invisible cracks in dimensional walls. New worlds, unsuspecting minds, brilliant lights unfolded in the adversary's decaying orbits, imprisoned stars winking out forever. They came through the bloom, shining and tenebrous at the same time, he whispers. They offered games, riches, promises for the future. I felt their passage and was afraid, and I hid my mind from their questing touch. I felt them reach for me, and I cowered in my shell. Ziob lays a hand on Dama's shoulder. Those who didn't hide saw the lure, and they were drawn into that unwinnable mental game. Attracted by the light of the adversaries' minds, they followed their own dreams into madness. Psychics and normal people alike, the ruin of the city's minds was... You were wise enough to see beyond the lure and into the danger. You couldn't stand against them yourself, and so you hid. We all did. Not all. Some stood. Thaboros growls. They played the game and got cracked like glow globes. I felt them die and their spirits got sucked into a vortex of endless fear. You did the right thing. Dama and I have told you that before. Fine, fine, Dama replies, waving the words away. But you've seen what the adversaries are like now. Inhuman, with no negotiation. Maybe they're communicating with us and we don't understand them. But I tell you, if this is their hello, I don't want anything else to do with them. So those of us who survived that initial incursion gathered here. We set aside our differences and we fought back, but not without our own losses. Okay, yeah, but what are the adversaries? I don't know. What we see isn't the whole picture. We know that. It's an extrusion into our world. Just a piece. It's misplaced. Just a piece of the creature's psychic material. Maybe it's a conscious unit on its own. Maybe it's self-directed. But my deepest fear is that every adversary we've seen is the smallest piece of a singular entity, and that our pushback is drawing its attention ever so slowly towards us. If you ever meet one, you'll know why that frightens me. So. Did I turn off the music? Was there music when I turned it off? No, there's still music. It's just not in here.
As you wish.
Oh, cool. A lot of people in this area. Everything has this, like, blur to it, too.
Yes.
I wonder why that is. Is it the heat? Is this place just really hot? Let's go talk to Sir Arthur. This man has leathered dark brown skin and hair as white as the full moon. He peers at you from beneath long strips of eyebrows, sucking on a long pipe that's been made from either segmented wood or the leg of an enormous insect. Oh, you're checking out? Well, I'll catch you later. His clothing is blue and formal, like a priest or a professor of some kind. All over him, on his belt, in every pocket, on both shoulders, even hovering in the air around his head, are glowing, chittering devices of all kinds. Let me guess. He sucks from his pipe. A ball of green steam floats away from his mouth. You're a traveler, that much is clear, and an explorer. Yet you have the look of a farmer visiting a teeming metropolis for the first time. Never seen the like, have you? Fortunately for you, I adore educating folks on the subject of the Numenera. I've also traveled extensively and seen much of the world. Go ahead, ask me whatever you would like to know. What are Numenera? His eyes light up, as too do a number of devices on his person, though you cannot see why. The Numenera are practically everything around you. We live among the detritus of uncountable civilizations, many of which were more powerful than you or even I can imagine. Everything they left us is the Numenera. Weapons, power sources, medicines, gels, plants, animals, why even the very drit on the ground and shins in your pocket are examples of Numenera. It's such a broad term that the Order of Truth has categorized the Numenera with terms like oddities, ciphers, and artifacts. Of course, any true student of the Numenera considers these categories too broad still. I have my own distinctions, but that is neither here nor there. In any case, it is the Numenera that powers the wonders of the world. From an explorer's esoteries to the datasphere to the drinks in this very tavern. Well, I really don't want to ask this guy how he categorizes Numenera. What is the difference between oddities, ciphers, and artifacts? He takes a long puff on his pipe before answering. For the most part, he says, those terms refer to how useful a device is. It makes sense. As wonderful and powerful as the relics of the past are, nobody in this world gives a damn unless it can fix their problems. They don't care how it works or where it came from, But if they can use it to feed themselves, fight off an Urinth Grask, or at least get them a few extra shins, now they're interested. He shows you the back of his fist and sticks out a thumb. Oddities are the least useful. They do something all right. Heat your drink, float in the air, make everything you say sound like music, whatever. But it's rarely something anyone can get any utility out of. Oddities are fascinating, but pragmatically they're only worth a few shins. He sticks his bony finger in the air next to his thumb. Ciphers now. Those might do anything. Heal your body, shoot a blast of flame, teleport you somewhere safe, and so on. But they're volatile. Whatever they do, they'll do it just once. If you don't know what you're doing, putting too many together can give you what's called cipher sickness. Puts up a third finger. Artifacts won't do that. That term belongs to devices that last. Maybe not forever, but more than one shot. Cool.
Without
Thanks, Tom.
doubt.
Good talk to you, Sir Arthur. I have ciphers. And the ciphers I have seem to last indefinitely.
We shall see.
All right.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
An interesting bar we've found here. Let's talk to Lido. Though this woman's face is young, she has been beaten hard by the sun. She wears a tight-fitting skin suit under loose desert robes. Her eyes are a deep and unsettling black, with no whites to be seen. Occasional streaks of light race across them, flashing in the shadows of her hood like stars plummeting from the sky. "I am Leto," she says. "I saw your coming. Now you are here." Cool. How did you know I'd be coming here? Skeins of lives weave together in a tapestry. Your thread glows. It emerges from the sky, and a great darkness follows in your wake. She waves a hand as if pushing through cobwebs. "I have seen you. Where you go, that is beyond my powers." Neat.
If you're sure it's safe.
Let's talk to Variok. The bartender is a tall, powerfully built man with nut-brown skin and a bushy beard. He radiates strength and confidence. He moves with speed when necessary and remains almost motionless the rest of the time, like a predator waiting to leap. Yet even when he prepares a drink, he doesn't touch a thing. His brow furrows slightly, and the bottles and glasses lift by themselves. When he sees you, he smiles broadly. "Welcome to the Fifth Eye, friend. I am Variok." Dama says he's blind. I might ask him about that. Dama said you're blind. What does that mean? He laughs. "I used to be the spotter for this gang. Means I could sense the presence of the adversaries, build an attractive playground for them, and draw them after me. Last one I faced, though, burned me out." Ooh, excuse me. "It put out my eyes. It burned me out. It put out my..." And then he's back to normal, smiling as if nothing had happened. Creepy. "I'd like a drink." "You're in for a treat, friend, a real treat. Assuming you call the possibility of a toxic reaction a treat, of course." He points at the various pipes on the wall. "We've positively identified some of these as safe. Smaller subset here as inebriants or hallucinogens. We've got a few that are, well, chancy. As in, sometimes they kill people. Cost for a safe drink is 3 shins. Experimental ones, those are 10. Now let's talk about the chancy drinks. We've got this strange black ichor, thick enough that it's almost chewy. There's a pink sludge that's a known entheogen, but its strength varies and sometimes kills people. We have one that smells like Altaban fruit, and we sometimes use that one to get rid of stubborn grease stains. It's acidic, but, well, maybe it's an acquired taste." Pink sludge is the one that sometimes kills people. I mean, I kind of want to try that one. Why not? I'll do it. I'll have some of that pink sludge. He raises an eyebrow, and a heavy glass veers over to the tap. The tap opens, filling the glass with an effervescent pink slop, and the glass drifts over to you. Variok dusts off his hands theatrically, though he never touched your glass. He grins. "Drink carefully, don't overdo it." But you've already quaffed it. It is thick and flavorless, but its effects are fast-acting. Your muscles seize, including your heart. Death snatches you so abruptly that you hardly notice the transition. Lost 10 shins. Did I just die?
I can't die.
I just took a drink that killed me? That's cool. Well, we've now learned how this, what happens when we die. The Spectre greets us. I can't say I expected to see you back so soon. I might as well clue him into what's going on. Found the residence chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't say anything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have to find a way to fix it. Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventure just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that... Sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Has anything changed since the last time I was here? Look around. It's your mind.
I'm ready.
I will look around.
On it.
Ah, so there's not much here. There's a tiny item floating in the sky. I don't know what that is.
All right.
Sorrow shattered the mirror, leading back. Oops. Leading back to the dark fathom. Glass shards hiss when you touch them.
I'm ready.
How do I go back now? I guess I could just leave area through this thing here.
Starting to think you have a taste for death.
I mean, this is the first time I've died with you around, bud. Chewy.
Of course.
Almus the Soul Keeper. For a moment, you are not entirely sure if you looked upon a construct or a human. The plastic sheen of this pale man's skin suggests artificiality, but if he is a construct, he is so cunningly constructed, so close to the human baseline, that the illusion is nearly perfect. Except his head is a trifle too large, his eyes black buttons. Then you realize the truth. He is a visitant. His home many millions of miles distance. Elmus, my name. How'd you get here, Elmus? He looks around. Not my time, not my place. Yet, when the connection to Rome broke, a beacon shone here. 5 minds drew me, a light and darkness. They were not a light to understand. They were safety, surety. Well, a new home I find. In this place I have clear thought, untarnished. What can you tell me about yourself? He lifts his great head slowly and fixes you with a dolorous gaze. I am Almus. I am the keeper of souls, last of my kind, only survivor of a civilization that spanned time and space. Now they are gone, their stars black, reality's winds carry me. He turns his head back towards his drink. Sure. Why is he called the Soul Keeper? What happened to your people? The highest cast of power controlled we minds, ideas for all souls of empire. A great web we wove, shining with power. Other nodes, they winked away, until only I remain. His fingers drum on the tabletop. An image of my people I carry, no place to make it real, or domain lost. I alone, and paralyzed with indecision and fear. That kind of sucks.
Without doubt.
That kind of sucks, without doubt. Let's talk to Usage. The most distinguishing feature of this tall, vaguely awkward man is the yellow shirt he wears. He seems desperate to fade back into the scenery. When he sees you notice him, he gives you a faint, uncomfortable grin. Who are you? Aaron, called Yusk. He almost whispers. I am not here. Okay, you're not here. Got it. What can you tell me about yourself? No, this is like a dream to me. Can you tell me anything more about yourself? No, this is like a dream to me. Okay, but a weird dude. We'll talk to O. Your eyes cannot focus on this person. Whether male or female, you cannot say. We're not binary. But it hums with a force that attracts and repels you. You feel a sense of amusement as the regard settles upon you. You speak with O, it says. You have tasted the truth in the form of machine lubricant. You have contemplated the totality of human existence. Speak quickly and true. The world slows around you. This is just somebody I found at a bar. Who are you? I am O. You might call me an ultra-terrestrial, though I am far more. I am from beyond space, beyond time, behind time, above your comprehension. Your mind has chosen this form for me, and I am content to exist in this structure. But know that I exist also outside of your subjective experience. Some might describe me as a superpositional extraction of fundamental universal laws made tangible. It gestures languidly, and you understand perfectly. I am a word made flesh, a letter at least, a concept covered in a false skin, infinitely malleable, essentially unknowable. So I'm talking to literally the letter O. Where'd you come from? You would not understand. Let me show you. Its eyes widen, expanding to fill the room, your vision, your consciousness, and you tumble into a starry immensity. Swirls of nebulae twist and knot, and in the hearts of these stellar clusters roar hungry vortices. You tumble helplessly into a myriad of them at once, torn apart and reformed in an instant, a being of pure light and will, You find yourself standing in the fifth eye again. Your nose is running, and tears streak your cheeks. You wipe them away humbly, and you realize your hand is streaked with blood. Took 1 damaged health pool. Last cast off permanently gained 1 intellect pool. Okay, cool. Too much information, too much knowledge. Had I shown you more, the energies that bind you together would have failed. Neat, neat. A moment. None here will know of our conversation. None will know its nature. None see me, nor will they recognize any sign of me. Even in this remarkable place they cannot know. But I give you a gift, Cast-Off, and God, and woman, for yours is a true story. It is welcomed into the world. It was born from desire and will end in... But no, I do not tell your fortune. Light envelopes you, and when you open your eyes, O is gone. Last Cast-Off permanently gained 4 health pool. Neat.
Allow me.
It's just like a person I ran into. And they've like permanently altered my stats. Alright. I think I might go yell at the...
Of course.
Right? Probably only gonna go for another 10 minutes. I don't really want to do the main quest some more. expand this? I can. Astorinio insists that Eratus pays debt in the form of service unless I can convince him to accept some other solution. Mourinho will expect monetary compensation from the city's authorities, assuming they're willing to provide them. I'll have to petition the county clerk in Government Square. Okay.
As you wish.
I don't remember exactly where Government Square is, but I think it's over here somewhere. Who's this guy? There's just like a mercenary running? What are you doing? He doesn't have anything to say.
I'm ready.
Okay, there's the thing I have to fix. The city square is probably up here.
On it.
On it.
I'm ready.
Without doubt.
It's time to bug the clerk again. I'd like to ask you some general questions. Fate size, the only acknowledgement you received. I'd like to talk about paperwork. I'm trying to resolve a legal dispute between two men named Eratus and Renia. Eratus crashed an airship of Renia's. Can you help? Do you think that because I can make a document vanish at the snap of my fingers, I can do the same for a civil suit? It's not so easy. The only relief the city could provide would be taking over Eratus' liability for the accident through a certificate of indemnity. But I assure you the council does not take on such liability willy-nilly, nor does it grant its clerk discretion to fritter away the city's money. Only someone much more important than you or I could persuade the council to do such a thing. Have you such a friend? I can bribe him. I can lie about it. I think I'm gonna lie about it. I'm gonna lie about it and see what happens. Did you truly believe I would not know by heart the names of all the city's luminaries? Hey, you know, I tried. How can I find someone who could help me? Finding the powerful is never difficult. Their glory shines like a beacon over the entire city. Look among the slave families for one who needs assistance of the sort your kind provides. Even the mighty, especially the mighty, understand the principle of quid pro quo.
Updated my journal.
Ooh. Do you have any records on a woman named Loss of Self? Loss of Self. One eye glances to see if you're joking. I recall no such name. He snaps his fingers and a sort of living codex appears, each of its pages covered in intricately patterned fur. Caressing its spine, he turns to a page, nods sharply, then returns the codex to its portal. As I knew, the census holds no such name. Perhaps that is merely an alias. With the eagerness of one who would prove his system cannot be thwarted, he adds, "We will need another way to find her records." I need that certificate of indemnity. Maybe I can bribe him. Maybe I can... Oh. What about a missing person report for someone who looks like loss of self? I can describe her to you. The clerk listens to your description, then gives a decisive nod, muttering something about checking the onomasticon. He snaps his fingers, and a heavy, loud, lead-bound tome appears from nowhere. He turns to a page, nods again, snaps again, and takes hold of a vellum scroll. As he unrolls it, an involuntary cry escapes from his lips. Impossible! You can see that the scroll is badly damaged by patches of gray-green mold.
I'll remember that.
Voice quivering with panic, he says, "These records are stored in a sealed chamber, housed in niches, carved from solid salt." He shakes his head. "There's little left. If this is your woman, I can tell you only that she was born in the city, and that her family was searching for her. You and your request are forgotten," as he begins systematically checking every other scroll in the vault, one snap at a time. None of the others appear damaged, though there seem endlessly many to examine. Can you tell me anything else about loss of self? The clerk shakes his head. Only that she was born in Sagas Cliffs, and that one time her family filed a report that she was missing. If the city has lost all record of this woman, then her identity is a secret indeed. That sucks. Well, I think that's it for today. Pretend this fireplace is going. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Farewell.